Welcome to the Family First Retirement Podcast with George Politarhos. For more information, visit betrayawealth.com. Now, let's get to the show.
I know you've been getting a lot of calls from people always looking for that second opinion, and you always welcome those calls, but you mentioned that they bring in this DIY retirement plan where people go online to Google, go to YouTube, if you will, and search how to build a retirement plan. Great if you're trying to fix a sink. Not so great if you're trying to build a lifetime income retirement plan.
Absolutely.
So when somebody comes in to see you and says, well, half of it's DIY, but I need your help with the other half, how do you take that? Like, where do you start with those situations?
You know, Mark, I always found that kind of unique because people think, how hard could it possibly be to build this retirement plan? And what's the funny thing is, folks, that most people plan really diligently for that vacation. Leslie and I are going to Brigantine in September. We can't wait. I already know what we're doing every day, according to Leslie. We already have it laid out pretty much, and we're 3-4 months away. But when it comes to this, you know, we don't plan for retirement like that. We kind of just want to let it wing it. And when you DIY something like this, you're winging it.
Right.
Because it looks really good. How hard can it be? But you don't take in consideration inflation. You don't take in consideration life-changing events. You don't take in consideration how to plan to make this bucket of money that you worked really hard for. Because, folks, you've accumulated wealth. You've worked really hard saving, paying off bills, keeping your expenses to a minimum, depriving yourself, right, Mark, today to get a better tomorrow. That's why it's so important to deal with someone that works with this all the time. When you give me a call at 302-330-2166, we're going to sit there and take what that DIY, something that you don't really know how to do very well, it's not your expertise, to come into my wheelhouse where I am the professional at it, where we have the strategic business partnership with Ernie Calias, our CPA, to get the right plan in place, to build a customized plan for your needs. And that's what the Family First Retirement Plan does, Mark. So when you call me, we are going to go through it together to make sure it builds what you want, how you want, and when you want to get to the end point of working. Call me at 302-330-2166 and let us help you take the DIY out of that problem and make it a professional. Because really, you do enough already, don't you?
Yeah.
We have our families. We have our job. We have the kids. We have yard work.
Yep.
Why are you adding something else to your wheelhouse that maybe you're not comfortable with? Maybe I didn't think about X because I'm worried about taking care of the dogs, right? Or you're worried about taking your children fishing, building those lifetime memories. Let me handle that for you. Let me take the guesswork out for you. Let's get a plan in place and get you to the end line of retirement so you don't have to worry about these moments. And guess what? You'll be like Leslie and I, because now we have Archer, our grandson, and we're planning on how to enjoy him, right? That's what our job is. My job for you is to get you to that point where you can enjoy your children, your grandchildren, and do everything you want to. Just call me at 302-330-2166 or go to Petrea Wealth, P-A-T-R-I-A wealth.com to schedule your no-cost, no-obligation meeting.
How long have you been doing this?
10 years.
10 years now. There's a difference between somebody who's been doing this for over 10 years now, serving families all across Wilmington, New Jersey, Maryland, Dover, and then somebody who just does a little research on Google. Talk to George. Talk to the team, 302-330-2166. All right, let's talk about some of those mistakes that you see when building a plan. It's actually a great story from Business Insider that profiled a woman who started saving in her early 30s. Her goal was to leave the workforce as a millionaire. Isn't that everybody's goal, George? She went asking for a little advice, and she talked to a financial advisor, and they found 4 major mistakes: lack of contributions, no tax diversification, no income strategy, and that one is huge, and not enough income streams. So when you work with somebody who's doing one of these DIY plans, are those the same mistakes that you see?
A lot of times it is, Mark, because we're focused and we have this agenda, but you need that expertise to kick in because there's opportunities right now for people. And let's take example the tax clarification. You can contribute to your 401k. You can contribute to a 403b, a thrift savings plan, and take the traditional approach, which is you put the money in pre-tax dollars, and then when you pull the money out, we pay taxes on it. Well, right now, we still have a great tax rate that we should be approaching using a Roth product in that mix. And the reason I say not everyone, because a Roth has to sit for 5 years, folks, before you can start using it in retirement.
But it's building money. It's building interest through those 5 years.
Correct. And that's what we want to do. So when we sit down and talk, we're going to look at the plus and minuses. I can go traditional and pay less taxes today. And then at the end of the day, when I retire in 5, 10, 15, 30 years, pay tax on all my growth, which I don't know about you, Mark. I kind of think taxes are going to be higher in the future.
Real chance they may be.
A real good possibility. Or you can go with a Roth type account now where you pay the tax today. And as it grows over the next 10, 15, 20 years, totally tax-free. That's one way that we're going to sit there, and that's a mistake a lot of people make. Another mistake people make, and I never understood this part because we don't understand how our retirement plans work per se.
Right.
We talked earlier about we have all these things on the table, right? We're taking care of our family. We're playing with our kids. We're fishing. We're doing yard work. We're changing the oil on our truck maybe. Mm-hmm. We have life events happening. And we don't know how our 401k, our retirement plan, our TSP works. One thing is, how much is the employer matching of that funds, of that? And let's use a federal employee. So all our federal employees out there, your thrift savings plan gets matched 5% dollar for dollar. How many people I've met, Mark, that are only putting in 3%? It's mind-boggling to me.
Is it because they don't know they're only putting 3%?
They don't know the rules. Yeah. They don't take enough time because life is in the way. And I always use this example. If I'm going to give you $5, and for you to get my $5, you have to put $5 in. Wouldn't you do it? Of course you would.
Yeah.
You're a fool almost not to do it. So that's what our job is for you, because you don't have to worry about it because you're so worried about everything else. These are the problems we go with every day. When you call me at 302-330-2166, we're going to address those issues. We're going to go over with the Family First Retirement Plan how to make sure we have enough income, because really we got to replace that pay stub as much as possible. So we need 3, 4, even 5 reliable, dependable, and sustainable avenues of income. We're going to talk about the tax consequences in the future. When you work with myself and Ernie Calais, we're going to address those issues. We're going to talk about diversification, because even when you get bigger and you're getting ready to retire, you still need a certain level of risk. A 30-year-old needs a different risk level than a 65-year-old. And we're going to make sure we balance those out to give you the opportunities and the growth that you want and, quite honestly, you need in retirement. So if you're coming from Atlantic City, if you're coming from Dover, Newark, or Wilmington, coming to the office here at 501 Silverside Road, we'll go over that with you. If you have saved $200,000 plus for your retirement, whether that's managed funds, savings, a 401k, a 403b, give us a call, 302-330-2166.
You talk about some of the conversations you're going to have, and that includes building income and protecting your assets. Well, it's hard to build income when you keep getting nickel and dimed. George, I recently bought tickets to go to a concert. The tickets were $60, right? Then on top of that, there's a $10 service fee. And then there's taxes. That's about another $10. Then there's a $5 venue fee. Plus, I like to sit on the aisle. I'm an old man now, so if I go to a concert, I don't want to be wedged in the middle. Just to sit on the aisle, that's another $15. So those $60 tickets now cost me $100. All these little hidden fees that you're not quite prepared for, they just throw at you. And you said some of the conversations you're going to have is about building income, but also recognizing these hidden fees. Is that one of the biggest problems of retirement plans?
The nickel and diming away at what you do. You know, I have people saying in our area here, we're really close to Vanguard down the road here in Pennsylvania. We do a tremendous amount of business with the Vanguard ex-employees. So the reason I say that is people say, why am I Vanguard 401k? They're managing it for me. And I'm doing really well with my Vanguard. And the first thing I say to them was, well, what's the fees associated with that account? Oh, there's no fees. And then you look into what the fees are, the nickels and dimes are. You know, you have a mortality and expense rate. You have a management fee. Every account you have within Vanguard, they charge you a fee on it. At the end of the day, those fees are amounting between 2 to 5, 6%. That's the nickel and dimes. And you don't think about it. You just see the number you had. And the other thing about Vanguard is I have a customer who says, George, I just earned 6% with Vanguard. Why do I have to worry about anything? I'm doing well. Well, how much do you think Vanguard made with that? Vanguard made 17, 18, 20%. They gave you 6%, right?
Yeah.
So all these fees, all these costs, all this opportunity for them to make money, and you're happy making the pennies and nickels. That's when you come into my office at 501 Silverside Road, right down the street from the radio station, folks. We're going to break that down and show you what the costs are and fees are. Because our job is to educate, inform, and enlighten you on what you have, where you're going, and more importantly, how we're going to get there. Once you have the information, you can then make an educated decision on your future. So when you call me at 302-330-2166 or go to Patria, P-A-T-R-I-A wealth.com, schedule that no cost, no obligation meeting, we'll start to address these issues. We'll give you the Family First Retirement Plan to make sure you understand exactly what you have today, where our investments are coming from and are at, and how they're going to benefit us in the future. We'll go over expenses with you. We're going to talk about taxes. Taxes are a terrible issue for people that we need to address. And we're going to go over Social Security and long-term care. So call us 302-330-2166 and let's schedule that appointment to start the process. Let's beat the summer heat and get you lined up for tomorrow.
Insurance and annuities offered through George A. Politarhos, Delaware Insurance License Number 1373121. Annuity guarantees rely on the financial strength and claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company. Read your contract for restrictions, limitations, or penalties.